Biden stood behind a podium and said the words food shortage yesterday, so a lot of TikTok is blowing up. First, the shortage hasn't yet started, but second, it's also a grain shortage, not necessarily a food shortage. To see more factual videos, search grain shortage. Russia and Ukraine produce 1/3 of the world's supply of exported grain. Nobody seems to be talking about this additional factor of weather. The Middle East has had this unimaginably bad drought, and they need to import a lot of grain. As Black Sea production of grains has gone up, United States farmers have been planting less as the prices have been dropping. South American corn might do in a pinch, however, they've had this massive drought. Crops are sold as a financial product called futures. It's the right to buy it in the future for a set price, which means that 95% of Argentina's corn has already been sold. You may have heard that China is hoarding all of this grain. And yeah, they do actually hold the majority of the world's grain reserves, the grain that governments put in silos for if shit goes sideways. China's massive purchase of grain last year startled me. I misinterpreted it to mean that they might be as aggressive as Russia. I was missing a key piece of data. By some estimates, China lost up to 50% of its pigs to swine flu. They were anticipating having to feed lots of baby piglets this year. What does this mean for us, the people who are just watching these videos trying to predict what's happening? Will we have enough food? The answer is, what border are you behind? There are countries that are going to be screwed by this, one of which is going to be Egypt, which relies on aish baladi, a whole grain bread, and it's so important to people's diets that it actually translates into English as life of the people, traditional life. I think it should be called slice of life, but last time that the Egyptian government rapidly pulled its subsidy of the prices of this bread, there were riots. 70 people died and more than 550 were injured. Reversed their policy within 2 days. So again, right now, the spread is subsidized, but the price of grain is skyrocketing because of futures and because of international views of grain supply. And how long can they subsidize it for? There are going to be a lot of countries that are incredibly impacted by this. Yemen is currently under a naval blockade. Indonesia imports a lot of grain, but they might be able to switch to cassava. Bangladesh and Pakistan might not have crops to switch to. That's going to be very important. For those of us in the United States, lucky enough to be mostly sheltered from this, we still will see rising prices. We shouldn't buy giant bags of rice right now. It'll make it worse for the world.